In the second year of his engagement with Lu Ruyan, he secretly got a marriage certificate with his lover. When I rushed to the Civil Affairs Bureau, I happened to see them kissing sweetly. But when Lu Ruyan saw me, not only was there no panic in her eyes, but she showed disgust for me. Boda has a heart operation next week and wants a marriage certificate. Hearing this, I just took off the engagement ring calmly, turned around and left the place. His friends advised him to come and admit his mistake to me, but Lu Ruyan smiled arrogantly. I am the eldest daughter of the Lu family. He and I were engaged. Who dares to marry him? But later, when she saw me and burned the diary that recorded our love, Lu Ruyan begged me to come back like crazy. On the festive certificate receiving platform, Lu Ruyan and Boda kissed sweetly, and the two kissed attentively and affectionately. I stood at the door, clutching the ring on my hand in bewilderment. Sir, are you here to get a marriage certificate? Where is your fiancé? The voice of the staff suddenly sounded, interrupting the two people on the stage. Lu Ruyan saw me and explained in a calm voice that Ada would have a heart operation next week and wanted to get a marriage certificate with me. He took into account your fiancé status and would not hold a wedding. You should also be considerate and not make trouble. Lu Ruyan and I are high school alumni. We were together for 4 years in college and we got engaged after graduation. But what I didn't expect was that the girl who took my engagement ring a year ago and said she would love me forever actually got a certificate with another man today. Don't worry, I am very considerate. I wish you a happy wedding. I smiled gently, took off the ring on my hand, and put it on the certificate table. Lu Ruyan frowned slightly and looked at Fang Yuan impatiently. What kind of jealous trick are you playing? I turned around and prepared to leave. Boda ran down the stage with an apologetic look to stop me. He said in a low voice to a Yuan, I'm sorry, it's all my fault. Please don't blame Yinyan. I have to have a heart operation next week. I was afraid that I couldn't get off the operating table, so I asked her to get the marriage certificate with me. I just want to feel the happiness of marriage. Don't worry. When I get off the operating table alive, we will apply for a divorce. Ada, you don't need to apologize. Lu Ruyan pulled Boda behind her and looked at me unhappily. Fang Yuan, Ada will feel uncomfortable when he is sad. Don't you look forward to him? He and I just got the marriage certificate. You are my real fiancé. When he finishes the operation, we will apply for a divorce. Do you need to cancel the engagement because of this little thing? Of course you need to. I smiled bitterly. Boda picked up the engagement ring on the certificate table, looking guilty and helpless. Yinyan, I'm sorry, it's me who made you misunderstood by a Yuan. He took off the engagement ring and must be angry with me. I turned and walked towards the door, and Lu Ruyan smiled contemptuously behind me. Don't worry, Fang Yuan had a crush on me in high school. We were together for 4 years in college. My sisters and I went to play with male models. He always came to me after being angry for a few days. When I got home, I called my brother Baisun to go to Huaqing for the National Day holiday. Yuan, I just finished the art exhibition in Kyoto. When you arrive in Huaqing, send me your location and I will come to find you. At 8 o'clock in the evening, I arrived at the Galaxy Tavern in Huaqing. I just had a drink when a bright and charming girl walked in at the door of the tavern. Tall and fair-skinned, I looked up quickly and almost choked on the wine. Why is Bai Ningbing here? The phone suddenly beeps twice. It's a message from Baisun. I have something to do and I have to go abroad in a hurry. My sister happens to be in Huaqing. Let her come and play with you for a few days. She knows how to play and has time. You can use her as you like. Don't be polite to her. Bai Ningbing probably saw me and walked straight towards me. Bai Ningbing and I were classmates in high school. He is an art student and graduated from Kyoto Conservatory of Music. He is now the lead singer of a top band in China. The last time we met was a year ago. Baisun and I have the same birthday. He came back from Kyoto specially. Fang Yuan hasn't seen him for a long time. Bai Ningbing curved her beautiful eyes and her voice was crisp and pleasant. It's been a long time since we last met. I motioned him to sit down and have a drink. I'll treat Bai Ningbing. Looking at the table full of wine, he was surprised for a moment, then frowned slightly. You can't drink, don't you need to hurt your body so much after a breakup? Thinking about what happened between me and Lu Ruyan, Baisun told her. I smiled bitterly and looked up at her beautiful beauty mole. After hesitating for a few seconds, I said to Bai Ningbing, Can you be my girlfriend? Bai Ningbing's eyes dimmed a little. Seeing that she was unhappy, I smiled and waved my hand to apologize. I am Fang Yuan. You must be drunk. I will take you upstairs first. Bai Ningbing lightly hooked her red lips and interrupted me. I don't know how I got to the bed. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw Bai Ningbing taking off his coat. I opened my eyes in surprise. There was a hint of interest in his eyes, and he smiled softly at Fang Yuan. I heard from my brother that this is your first time. It can't be true. Bai Ningbing, do you have a boyfriend? I forced myself to be drunk and asked him with a smile, and said seriously that I have been single since birth. So you are not at a disadvantage. Before I finished speaking, Bai Ningbing kissed me on the lips. The fragrance of peach blossom wine spread, and the sweet taste brought a tingling feeling, and my heart seemed to skip a beat. Seeing Bai Ningbing's cheeks flushed, almost in an instant, I turned over and pressed her under me, lowering my head to meet her kiss. I woke up at dawn, or to be more precise, I hadn't slept all night. I actually slept with Bai Ningbing, and she happened to be Lu Ruyan's good sister. Bai Ningbing hadn't woken up yet. I got out of bed quietly and opened my bag, but found that I only had 400 renminbi, so I put it all on the bedside table. As soon as I arrived at the first floor of the hotel, Lu Ruyan called me. Fong Yuan, what did you secretly say to Ji Boda? He suddenly fainted this morning. If I hadn't sent him to the hospital in time, the consequences would have been disastrous. I just got a certificate with him. Do you want his life so much? I told you very clearly yesterday that the position of Lu's son-in-law has always been reserved for you. You knew that he had a heart disease, so you couldn't be sad or angry. Why did you do those childish things? I clenched my hand holding the phone slightly, and my tone was very light. I was very busy last night, so I didn't have time to deal with him. Lu Ruyan, I know you feel sorry for Ji Boda, but don't accuse me of some false charges, okay? Before Lu Ruyan could reply, his friends' voices came first. You also know about Ji Boda's physical condition. He is Yanyan's lover. Yanyan should take more care of him as Yanyan's fiancée. Why can't you get along well with her? Why waste your words on her? Yanyan is so good to him, but he still wants to cancel the engagement. He is simply ungrateful. Shut up. Lu Ruyan interrupted them and asked me in a cold voice. Fong Yuan, where are you? Ada is going to have surgery next Wednesday, and his mood is not stable now. You come to the hospital to apologize to him. He will feel better. I thought for a moment and asked, did Ji Boda say that I called and scolded him last night? Well, sorry, I was very busy last night and didn't have time to touch my phone all night. I smiled faintly and hung up the phone, but soon Lu Ruyan sent a message. What do you mean by that sentence just now, Lu Ruyan? You can send Ji Boda to the hospital in time. Then where were you last night? I asked back, and he replied after 5 minutes. Ada couldn't sleep at night. I just simply accompanied him to sleep. I regard him as a brother. Not as dirty as you think. At 7 o'clock, Bai Ningbing found me in the breakfast shop opposite the hotel. I suddenly didn't dare to look directly at him when I saw him. He was like an ostrich, eating tofu rice noodles with his head down. He came over and sat down. His tone was casual and casual. Fong Yuan, in your eyes, am I, Bai Ningbing, only worth 400 yuan? I hummed lightly, and after seeing his shocked expression, I immediately reacted and shook my head. No. Bai Ningbing looked at me with dark emotions rolling in his eyes. Fong Yuan, I was serious last night. Don't tell me you were just playing with me. Bai Ningbing, we are all adults. Last night was what we wanted. 400 yuan is for your room. I looked at him and opened my mouth, but my voice was a little hoarse. Bai Ningbing looked worried and got up to go to the store to get a cup of hot water. Fong Yuan, I saw Lu Ruyan yesterday and sent the marriage certificate to my circle of friends. Since then, I have been worried about you. I asked Bai Sun to keep an eye on your situation. When I heard that you were going to travel to Huacheng, I bought a plane ticket the first time and rushed over from Kyoto. You and Lu Ruyan are over. Do you want to give it a try with me? When I heard Bai Ningbing's words, I just smiled gently. Bai Ningbing, Lu Ruyan and I have been dating for 5 years. She is your good sister, so what? She raised her eyebrows slightly, and her black eyes were frank and undisguised. I couldn't help Bai Ningbing. Bitterness suddenly surged in my heart. I wanted to say something but stopped. Bai Ningbing restrained his expression and smiled indifferently. I know, don't worry about what happened last night. Even if you are teasing me, I accept it. There are many tourist attractions in Flower City. I will accompany you to relax these few days. 2 days later, Bai Ningbing said that he would take me to the beach for a ride on his motorcycle. When I walked out of the hotel door, I saw him at the side of the car with a pink helmet in his hand. The sun was shining slowly, and time seemed to be paused. For some reason, I suddenly remembered the scene when he and his friends rode bicycles and sped past me in high school. After getting on the car, a smile flashed across Bai Ningbing's eyes, and he stared at me in the rearview mirror of the motorcycle. Hey Fong Yuan, I'm going faster. You have to hold me so that I won't fall off. The roar of the motorcycle was ringing. I paused, and hugged her waist tightly from behind. In the mirror, the smile on Bai Ningbing's bright and moving face became sweeter. When we arrived at the motorcycle path by the sea, my ears the air was filled with the sound of the whistling sea breeze. Summer seemed to have arrived. The sunset gradually sank to the west. The shells on the beach were dotted with golden light. The fishing boats in the distance were swaying slowly. Suddenly the cell phone rang. Bai Ningbing parked the car on the side of the road. He was tall and exuded a wanton and flamboyant temperament, but every time he looked at me, his eyes were full of gentle smiles. You answer the phone, I'll take 2 pictures for my brother, and found that it was Lu Ruyan calling. I walked forward a few steps before pressing the answer button. Fong Yuan, where are you? My mother is looking for a wedding date for us. You send him your birth date. I suddenly felt a little funny when I heard him say this. Lu Ruyan, have you taken amnesia drugs? Why should I marry you? We have broken up. If you want to send it, let Ji Boda send it. He is your qualified fiancé to get the marriage certificate. You are so angry, and you still say it's not jealous. It's been several days. You still haven't calmed down. Ada's operation went smoothly. I applied for a divorce from him yesterday, and after the divorce cooling off period is over, I will marry into your Zhang family in style. Isn't that okay? Of course not. I emphasized again that we had cancelled the engagement. Lu Ruyan's tone suddenly changed. Fong Yuan, don't always lose your temper. My patience also has its limits. Yan Yan, why don't you bow your head to Fong Yuan? He seems to be really angry this time. If he marries someone else, it will be too late for you to regret. Someone on the other end of the phone advised Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan didn't care, sneered. I am the eldest daughter of the Lu family. He and I are engaged. Who dares to marry him in less than a week? He will come back to beg me like a dog. Also in Zhangcheng, except the Zhang family, no one dares to mess with the Lu family. Fong Yuan doesn't marry you. He will be a single dog all his life. The more he heard, I got angrier and angrier, so I hung up the phone and turned it off. On the last day of the holiday, I returned to Zhangcheng. After getting off the plane, I took a taxi to Lu Ruiyan's Shishan apartment. Lu Ruiyan is the eldest daughter of the Shin group. After graduation, she worked in her own company and has always lived in the Lu family's old house. A few days ago, we were going to live together, so he moved into his own apartment. Ji Boda lives opposite him. According to him, it was the two elders who asked them to live in the same community so that they could take care of each other. The last time I came to stay, I left a diary with him. The diary records the entire process of my love with him. I must take it away today. As soon as I opened the door, I saw Lu Ruiyan cooking soup in the kitchen. Ji Boda was wearing my pajamas, tightly pressed against her body, looking at the pot. In my impression, this was the first time Lu Ruiyan entered the kitchen. She had a bad stomach. After we were together, I made a breakfast for her. And she said it was the best breakfast she had ever had, so I made breakfast for her for several years, and I made it in different ways just to make her happy. When I heard the door open, Lu Ruiyan glanced at me indifferently, then lowered her head to look into the pot. Bai Boda walked towards me and laughed softly. On your back. I'm discharged from the hospital today. Yin Yan specially cooked soup for me. You're not jealous again, are you? Lu Ruiyan is your legally registered wife, why are you jealous? I responded coldly and walked around him to the bedroom, but suddenly there was a sound of someone falling down behind me at noon. Fang Yuan, if you don't want Yin Yan to make soup for me, I can just tell him. Why did you push me hard? I followed the sound and saw Ji Boda lying on the ground. He looked so angry and embarrassed, as if I had really pushed him. Fang Yuan, what are you crazy about? Lu Ruiyan put down the soup spoon, rushed over, he helped Ji Boda up, frowned and stared at me, only for a moment. His eyes suddenly locked on my neck. Fang Yuan, what is that, are you blind? Can't you see that it is a kiss mark? I said unhappily. Lu Ruiyan's face changed suddenly, and she cursed loudly. Damn, who did that? Fang Yuan, I haven't slept with you, how dare you sleep with other women? Yin, don't get angry. Fang Yuan went to Huaqing for a trip alone. He must have been seduced by those questionable women. You asked him like this, how could he say it? Ji Boda grabbed Lu Ruiyan and looked at me with a little contempt. Fang Yuan, this man has no self-respect, just like a rotten cucumber in the vegetable garden. No woman will like him. The Lu family has a strict family tradition. You slept with others when you were traveling. Yin Yan will definitely not want you. Slap. I stepped forward and slapped Ji Boda in the face. This time I saw with my own eyes that he fell to the ground with an expression of disbelief on his face. I looked at the person in front of me coldly. Ji Boda made up rumors about me in front of me. Have you ever thought about the consequences? You knew that Lu Ruiyan had a fiancé, but you still wanted to get a marriage certificate with him. I didn't say anything to you about this. Do you feel that you have a sense of accomplishment? A trace of panic flashed in Ji Boda's eyes. Lu Ruiyan's heartache was about to overflow from her eyes. When she looked at me, anger appeared between her brows. Fang Yuan, you pushed Ji Boda just now, and now you hit him again, and you said that you were not jealous and angry. I didn't tell you in advance that he and I got a marriage certificate. It was indeed my fault, but Ji Boda is in poor health. If you are angry, just come to me. Lu Ruiyan, I didn't push Ji Boda. Believe it or not, I came to you today to get that diary. Let's not contact each other again in the future. I turned and walked into the bedroom and took out the diary. Fang Yuan, are you serious? When I was about to reach the door, Lu Ruiyan stopped me. I looked at him and laughed at myself. Lu Ruiyan, I suddenly realized that my secret crush on you in high school was simply a joke. Liking you has cast a dark cloud over my life. In my senior year of high school, I accidentally fell into the river. When I woke up, I saw the seeds of my secret crush on Lu Ruiyan. It was probably planted at that time. 3 days later, Bai Ningbing invited me to attend the band's anniversary concert. I agreed and sat down at the scene at 7 o'clock in the evening. The stage lights were all on, and the screams in the audience were like boiling water. Yuan, you see, my sister is still very popular. My dad used to ask her to go back every day to manage the family branch, but she refused, saying that she wants to pursue her own passion now. Bai Sun took out a cheering hand charm from his bag and smiled and gestured. I grabbed a corner and took a look, and found that it said, love yourself and you will always be the winner. There were 4 people in the band. After singing the anniversary celebration song, the other 3 people left the stage. Bai Ningbing picked up a guitar and smiled. Now I will bring you a new personal song. This is written for a friend. I hope he will be happy every day. The song is called From a Yuan. The sound of the guitar rang out and he smiled and said, the kite only takes risks for a line. I want to tell you that you will always be my first choice. Bai Ningbing's singing echoed in my ears, and the tenderness seemed to be concretized at this moment. I couldn't help but think of what he said in Huaqing. Fang Yuan, do you want to try to be with me? Bai Ningbing suddenly looked me in the eye, and my heartbeat resonated with his voice. Yuan, why is my sister staring at you all the time? He wrote this song for you, right? The song title is Still Your Name. Honestly, are you two hiding something from me? No, he is looking at you. Don't tell my sister, she will look at her brother affectionately. This is too perverted. Bai Sun glanced at me with a smirk. I felt a little guilty. I told him about other things in Huaqing, but I couldn't say what happened that night, and I didn't dare to say it. After the concert, Bai Sun took me backstage. Hello, I am Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing's high school classmate and a friend of his brother Bai Sun. After I introduced myself, one of the girls with long wavy hair looked at Bai Ningbing meaningfully, as if she had discovered a new continent, and teased Ningbing. He is the boy you like. The love song you just sang was from Ah. It was originally written specifically for him, right? When the girl with long wavy hair said this, the other 2 teammates burst into laughter. Bai Ningbing glanced at each other and raised their eyebrows slightly. He looked up at me and said softly, Fang Yuan, that song is indeed written for you, but it is not the love song from a Yuan as they said. It means that those dark days are over, and I hope your future will be bright. I was relieved to hear that it was not a love song, but for some reason I had some strange feelings. The next day, Bai Ningbing sent me a WeChat message. Fang Yuan, are you free this Saturday afternoon? My friend and I have arranged a badminton-friendly match at Jiangqing No. 1 Middle School. I hope you can come to cheer for me. Jiangqing No. 1 Middle School is my alma mater. You can go back and have a look. I had just replied to Bai Ningbing's message when Lu Ruyan's friend Zheng Wei sent me 2 voice messages. Fang Yuan, are you free this Saturday afternoon? I only listened to the first one. He mostly talked to me about Lu Ruyan. There was nothing to talk about. It was Saturday. I went to Jiangqing No. 1 Middle School, but as soon as I arrived at the badminton court, I saw Lu Ruyan. She was wearing a white jersey and Bai Ningbing was standing opposite her. So the badminton-friendly match that Bai Ningbing mentioned was with Lu Ruyan. When Zheng Wei saw me, the corners of her mouth raised with excitement. Yin and Fang Yuan, you are really here. You should give us a way out today. We have all seen you getting drunk because of him these days. Make peace as soon as possible, which will be good for both of us. Lu Ruyan looked at me, with no expression on her arrogant face and a disdainful tone. Why did you ask him to come? It's not like I, Lu Ruyan, can't find a boyfriend. Why do I have to accommodate his unreasonable behavior again and again? He paused and then his eyes softened. I just felt soft-hearted. This is the last time. As long as Fang Yuan brings me some water, I will put aside my pride and take the initiative to make peace. The voices of the two were neither loud nor soft that I happened to hear it, but I ignored it and walked past them and went towards Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing saw me and quickly ran over. The sunlight was warm, and her beautiful eyes had the same smile, and her whole body was glowing. Here's your water, come on for the game. I handed the purified water in my hand to Bai Ningbing. A blush spread across his earlobes. He raised his head slightly and said with a smile, thank you. This is the first time you've bought me water. I will definitely win today. Bai Ningbing, what are you doing? Fang Yuan is my fiancé. Are you trying to steal him away? Lu Ruyan suddenly ran over and threw the badminton racket in her hand hard at Bai Ningbing. Bai Ningbing reacted very quickly and shook off the badminton racket with her hand. She chuckled and snorted. What are you trying to steal? Lu Ruyan, if I remember correctly, your husband is Jiboda, right? Fang Yuan saw you two get the marriage certificate with his own eyes. He is only yours now. Ex-boyfriend, I told you before, if you don't treat him sincerely, I will definitely snatch him away. Bai Ningbing never tell lies. Lu Ruyan clenched her hands, her eyes full of ruthlessness. Seeing that he still wanted to hit Bai Ningbing, I pushed him away. Lu Ruyan, what are you crazy about? Lu Ruyan seemed to remember something and looked at me with red eyes. Fang Yuan, don't tell me that you were fooling around with Bai Ningbing during those days in Huacheng. Do you know that she is my bestie? Bai Ningbing is a big star now. She was just playing with you. It was impossible for her to be sincere. I smiled indifferently. So what? Lu Ruyan, you should understand that from the moment you and Jiboda got the marriage certificate, our engagement was invalid. What does what I do and what kind of girl I want to be with have to do with you? Seeing my decisiveness, the always spoiled Lu Ruyan lowered her temper for the first time. I changed my tone. Yuan, I'm sorry, Jiboda was going to have a heart surgery at that time. He was afraid that he couldn't get off the operating table, so he begged me to let me get a certificate with him. He and I grew up together, there was no way to refuse. He and I have already applied for a divorce after the cooling off period. I will marry you, what do you think? I glanced at him lightly, not. Very good, we no longer have that kind of relationship. Please don't mention marriage again, it sounds annoying. Bai Ningbing, you asked me to play badminton just to let me know that you are the third party. It's really despicable. Lu Ruyan glanced at Bai Ningbing, left angrily. Sister Bing, you are not kind. You and Yin grew up together. You actually snatched her fiancé. It's really shameless. Zheng Wei glanced at Bai Ningbing with contempt, and then looked at me. Fang Yuan, Zheng Wei, are you sick? Fang Yuan is no longer her fiancé. Bai Ningbing snorted. A voice interrupted Zheng Wei's words. Zheng Wei stomped her feet in anger and left in shame. Seeing that Bai Ningbing had an injury on her wrist, I took out a band-aid from my bag and handed it to her, but she didn't take it. Fang Yuan, this wound was caused by your ex-girlfriend. Can you help me with it? I looked down at the girl who was talking and found that her eyes and eyebrows were full of smiles. So I tore off the band-aid, gently put it on his wrist, and deliberately pressed it hard. After hearing his sound of pain, I chuckled and said, you deserve it. You deliberately asked Lu Ruyan to play badminton with you, right? Bai Ningbing didn't deny it. She smiled and asked me, Fang Yuan, when did you fall in love with Lu Ruyan? I was stunned for a moment, then pointed to the Moon Lake in front of the library. In my senior year of high school, I accidentally fell into the Moon Lake. At that time, Lu Ruyan found someone to save me. One day in the first semester of my senior year of high school, my dad called me and said, there was something urgent, so I came out of the library and was about to run to the school gate. When I passed Yuehu Lake, I was tripped by a stone and rolled into the river. When I woke up, I saw Lu Ruyan. After that, my eyes fell on her. During the 4 years in college, everyone envied me for having a girlfriend who loved me very much, but no one knew that I had exhausted all my efforts to pursue her. Bai Ningbing, what are you looking at? I found that Bai Ningbing was staring at the lake thoughtfully. I stretched out my hand and waved it in front of him. It's nothing, let's go back. Bai Ningbing retracted his gaze and smiled at me. When he smiled, his eyes were particularly bright. For a moment, my memory followed his smile and went back to a few years ago. Jiangqing No. 1 Middle School was the best middle school in Jiangqing. Lu Ruyan and Bai Ningbing, who were transfer students at the time, were very famous in the school. Both were beautiful and academic masters and they were equally matched. In my second year of high school, Bai Ningbing and I were assigned to Class 7 of the Liberal Arts Experimental class. He sat behind me for 2 years. In my memory, he also had long black hair in high school, was awesome and cool, and was keen on playing badminton. After class, he was either on the badminton court or in the music room. He hasn't changed now, and he always has that youthful energy. At 1 a.m. my cell phone kept ringing. I picked it up and saw that it was Lu Ruyan. He was calling me with an unfamiliar number, and there were several text messages written in alien language. I blocked the number and turned off the phone. But when I woke up the next day, Jiboda came to my door. He looked haggard, but his tone was as unfriendly as ever. Fang Yuan, do you know that Yin Yin had gastric bleeding last night because of you? He didn't want to go to the hospital, so he locked himself in the house and didn't want to see anyone. He just wanted to see you. You and I go to Lu's house, Jiboda. What identity do you use to ask me to see him? You are your husband, right? Then you are really generous. You asked an ex-boyfriend who you have been dating for 5 years to see your wife. Aren't you afraid that I will rekindle our old love? When I said this, Jiboda's face turned a little ugly. As a man, I can see that he likes Lu Ruyan. He has been in poor health since childhood. He went abroad to recuperate a few years ago. After returning to China, he found me and asked me to take the initiative to break up with Lu Ruyan. He also said that Lu Ruyan would ignore everything for him. Jiboda likes Lu Ruyan and Lu Ruyan knows it. Since he returned to China, Lu Ruyan's life focus has obviously shifted to him. She travels with him every few days, goes shopping with him, and eats the food she wants with him. People who don't know might think Jiboda is her boyfriend. It's not that I haven't quarreled with him, but he said it was the elders assigned me the task of taking good care of Jiboda because he had a congenital heart disease. At 3 a.m. the next day, I heard the sound of rummaging through boxes in the living room. I was awakened from my dream, and when I opened the bedroom door, I saw Lu Ruyan sitting on the sofa in the living room. The floor was full of scattered things, and he was holding my diary in his hand. He was so angry these days that he forgot about me and left him a spare key. When he saw me, Lu Ruyan stood up excitedly and wanted to hug me. I turned to the left and he fell to the ground. Yuan, can we get back together? I read the diary you wrote. You always didn't let me read it before. It turns out that this whole book is full of your love for me. I know that you were with Bai Ningbing just to make me angry. I don't mind what you did with him. As long as you come back to me, you won't. Do you want to open a design studio? I will ask someone to find a place for you at dawn. You said before that you wanted to raise 2 stray dogs, but I didn't let you because I thought they were dirty. Now I'm not afraid of dirt anymore. Let's go and take the stray dogs home tomorrow, okay? I was wrong. I shouldn't have agreed to get the marriage certificate with Jiboda. It was my fault that I didn't tell you the first time. If it were you, you wouldn't be able to say no to a heart patient. You and I have been together for almost 5 years and I've gotten used to having you. Ever since you started to give me the cold shoulder, I feel like my heart has collapsed. It's really uncomfortable. He sat on the ground decadently, talking to himself, as if he was telling me something or blaming himself. The collapse is really puzzling. I smiled. Lu Ruyan, why are you crazy in the middle of the night? Go to the hospital if you are sick. I reached out to pull him, trying to he dragged her out, but she held my legs tightly. I pulled her away with all my strength and cursed Lu Ruyan. Can you stop being so childish? Lu Ruyan looked up, and on that resolute face, crystal tears silently flowed down. I asked directly the doubts in my heart. Lu Ruyan, it was not you who saved me in Yuehu Lake that year. Why did you lie to me that it was Bai Ningbing? Did he tell you the truth? Lu Ruyan's body stiffened. He looked at the ground and suddenly smiled. Yuan, it was indeed not me who saved you that year, it was Bai Ningbing who saved you. In the hospital, Bai Ningbing went to change his wet school uniform. You asked me if I was the one who saved you, but I didn't explain, so you misunderstood me as me. I admit that I had selfish motives, but I had a good impression of you before. Bai Ningbing and I transferred to Jiangcheng No. 1 middle school from a private high school. Everyone was afraid of offending us, but you are different. You are the student union vice chairman. When facing us, you still acted in a businesslike manner. The time Bai Ningbing was late, you insisted on giving him a score despite the teacher's partiality and opposition, which left a deep impression on me. The next day, Bai Ningbing went to Kyoto for training and was away for half a year. After returning from the art exam, he found that you had fallen in love with me, so he didn't mention saving you again. So that's how it is. In fact, Bai Sun told me about this yesterday. He said that Bai Ning didn't let him mention that incident in front of me, mainly because he was afraid that it would remind me of the shadow of falling into the water, because my father drowned while saving people, so I am very afraid of water. I smiled faintly, turned around and went to the kitchen to get a basin, then snatched the diary from Lu Ruyan's hand, tore off a few pages, lit it directly and threw it into the basin. Fang Yuan, what are you going to do? Lu Ruyan widened her eyes and thought. He stood up to stop me, but he was drunk and couldn't stand steadily, and fell down again. There were 106 entries in the diary. They were my secret love written down stroke by stroke, and the rest were the process of my love with him. If you tear it up again, it will be gone. Do you really want to burn our love in this basin? Do you and I really have no chance at all? I paused, glanced at Lu Ruyan expressionlessly, and then threw the remaining half of the diary into the raging fire. Watching the papers full of words turn into ashes one by one, memories grew wildly in my heart until they poked a hole in my heart. I should not be sad. I just feel a little regretful that the bright Lu Ruyan at the age of 17 is gone. After the burning, I called Jiboda and asked him to come and take Lu Ruyan away. He couldn't even manage his own wife. How could he have the nerve to take her away from him? Jiboda was about to say something, but in the end he said nothing. A few days later, it was Bai Ningbing's 25th birthday. After the birthday party, he took me to the beach and confessed to me, and I agreed. Bai Ningbing said a lot when he confessed, but he didn't mention the fact that he saved me that year. After I said it, a gentle smile appeared in his eyes. I was afraid that after you knew it, you would agree to my confession because of this. What I want is that you like me from the bottom of your heart, so that two people can be really happy together. I smiled and stepped forward to hug her. Bai Ningbing wanted to say thank you, it's true, and it's also true that I really like you. You're so stupid. If I hadn't broken up with Lu Ruyan, Wouldn't you have waited in vain for so many years? As long as Yuan and I get married, my 8 years of secret love will not be in vain. The pleasant voice fell into my ears, and I slightly let go of Bai Ningbing. I looked down at her smiling eyes. I couldn't think of what words to use to respond to her words, so I lowered my head and kissed her directly. Early the next morning, the hot search suddenly exploded. Lu Ruyan and Fang Yuan were in love for 1,706 days. The person who broke the news was Lu Ruyan. When I saw the hot search, my eyes went dark, as if my dark history was suddenly exposed. She posted 2 long Weibo posts. The first one was about every detail of my 5 years of love with her. Most of the content was in my diary. After reading it that night, I actually remembered it in my heart. The second one was an apology to me and a proposal to me. Yuan, let's get married. Yuan, give me another chance. This time I will love you for the rest of my life, okay? You said you wanted a starry sky wedding, and I have asked someone to prepare it. Lu Ruyan posted a picture. It was the starry sky wedding scene he had arranged. I took a look and it was indeed me. I once told him about this style. In Lu Ruyan's long Weibo post, she wrote about how he went to get a marriage certificate with Jiboda when he was with me. There wasn't a single blessing in the comment section. Everyone was telling him to get lost. I thought it was some affectionate and domineering young lady who came out to propose marriage. Who knew it was a two-timing scumbag? Both men and women were shameless. What lover? That was Miss Shan's ex-husband, who had just received his divorce certificate a few days ago. I was about to reply when a hand suddenly reached out from behind and snatched my phone away. Fang Yuan, don't read his excerpted love quotes. As she spoke, Bai Ningbing pulled me under her and kissed me on the lips. Jealous women are really scary, like hungry kittens. She accompanied him in bed for a while. Then I picked up my phone and forwarded Lu Ruyan's proposal Weibo. The 5 words, "Don't marry a remarried woman," quickly became a hot search, and later I heard Zheng Wei said that Lu Ruyan burst into tears that day and her eyes turned red. He called me countless times, but all the numbers showed as invalid. I was afraid that he would harass me, so I canceled my phone card. A few days later, the photo of Bai Ningbing and I kissing on the beach was posted in a 9-square diagram by a well-known paparazzi. When I saw the trending search, I didn't dare to look at the comment section. Bai Ningbing is a big star and everyone in the comment section might be scolding me, but Bai Sun told me that no one was scolding in the comment section. They were all saying that Bai Ningbing and I were a good match. They also said that the well-known architect and the lead singer of the top band were classmates in high school. Their love from school uniforms to wedding dresses was very good. That night, Lu Ruyan posted a Weibo with only a period. Netizens commented that she was broken. A few minutes later, Bai Ningbing also posted a Weibo, saying that she finally caught up with the boy she had liked for 8 years. I will love him all my life. The end.